Hi guys, today you're going to meet page 2 and page 3 of your ESRT. So let's just review from yesterday. A plain and a plateau are very similar. They're both made of horizontal sedimentary bedrock. The plain has a low elevation. The plateau has a high elevation. Mountain is made of metamorphic rock, and you can almost see how the distorted shape of the rock makes an M for metamorphic and for mountain. So if you were standing on a plateau or you were standing on a mountain, it would look like you were at a really high elevation. You wouldn't really be able to tell the difference unless you looked at the bedrock structure. Now we're going to talk about 3 areas of New York State. So I'm on page 2 and 3 of your ESRT. I just want to point out a few things here. We have the Erie, Ontario lowlands, and do you see how in parentheses it says a plain? So this is my plain. This is my low elevation horizontal sedimentary bedrock. Then if we look at this yellow area that I colored in for you, this whole part here, which includes the Catskills, is the Allegheny Plateau. So a lot of times people will say, I'm going skiing in the Catskills. Well, they might think that the Catskills are a mountain, but they're actually a plateau. They wouldn't know that unless they looked at the bedrock, because in a plateau, the bedrock is these flat horizontal layers. And then we'll look at this green area up here. This is the Adirondack Mountains, really one of the very few metamorphic areas we have in New York State. This came out of the ocean, very, very long time ago. It was the first part of New York State. This is the Adirondack Mountains, and this is this distorted bedrock. So you have to kind of use these 2 tables together, and I colored them in to make it a little easier. I used to have the yellow pages, which was like a phone book, and there was this commercial that said, let your fingers do the walking. Well, that's kind of what you have to do. When you're looking at a landscape region, you usually have to use both of these. So let's say I wanted to find out Old Forge, which is right here. I wanted to find out what landscape region it was in. Well, I'd say to myself, well, it's kind of at the top of the state in a circular area. Then I would let my fingers do the walking to that same location, and I could find out, Old Forge is in the Adirondack Mountains. Let's do the same skill again here. What if I wanted to know these Finger Lakes? What landscape region are these Finger Lakes in? By the way, these Finger Lakes were created by glaciers. Well, if I let my fingers do the walking to that same location, I can see that they are in the Allegheny Plateau. If I wanted to use the codes, I could also figure out some things about the bedrock. So let's look at this area here in Rochester. Rochester is right below Lake Ontario. So if I go up and let my fingers do the walking, I know that I'm in the Erie, Ontario lowlands, which is a plain. Now, if I go back down to Rochester, I notice that the code for Rochester is these little straight up and down stripes. When I go to the bottom of the page here, I find those same up and down stripes here. Now, some things are so old, they don't have a number. Miss Sutton's almost there. Once I hit over 50, I'm just gonna tell people I'm in my 50s. I'm not even gonna give it a number anymore. But these rocks are so old that they actually don't have a number. They're called Silurian. And if you go over a little further, it tells me that Silurians are made of limestones, shales, sandstones, and conglomerates. So if I was at that location in Rochester, the bedrock underneath me would be made of limestone, shale, sandstone, and conglomerates. And if I keep going over, and I want to know what type of rock those were, I could look here. It's dominant or sedimentary in its origin. So we have a couple of things for you to try today on our class page, but I hope that this helped make it a little easier for you.